Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Friday, November 22nd, after the Celtics win over the Washington Wizards in the NBA Cup. They improved to 2-1 in the Cup after win over the Cavs this past Monday. Beat the Wizards 108-96. Rough offensive performance for the Celtics in this game. They overcame it. Wizards stuck with them pretty handedly, I should say. But the Celtics ended the night with the victory nonetheless.
What a shit game. Overall, just terrible content, not fun to watch. It was a slugfest rock fight for most of it. You got some really cool Tatum Brown heroics down the stretch, which was nice. And ultimately, the Celtics win by double digits in a game that was one that it felt like they actually might lose for a good amount of it. Shout out to the Wizards for whatever reason, fouling at the end of the game as if their point differential would matter. Because they, even if, like, I don't know what the best case scenario would be for them. If they lose by less points, like, they still lost, like, they're out. Like, they've lost 2 games already. They cannot win. They cannot advance. It's pretty much how it goes.
Well, unless everyone else loses 2 games.
Yeah. Either way, like, it was, like, bizarre. Like, they fouled with, what, 5 seconds left?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Strange. But
don't know why.
W for the Celtics. I mean, maybe they cut a deal. Maybe they were like, yeah, just help us pad at the end of the game.
What does Washington get for that? What does their end of the deal get in that scenario?
They keep it close.
But they didn't.
They did. The Celtics kept it close the whole game.
Oh! I see what you mean. I see. I see.
Yeah,
I thought you meant kept it close at the end. I was like, but
no, they keep it close.
Like
they make it respectable. Like the people that paid to be there, like don't feel, even though they were all rooting for the Celtics, like they don't.
Yeah,
feel
I was gonna
like
say
they were ruined by the experience.
Mostly Celtics fans there, so
yeah.
I don't know if that tracks. Anyways, actual game. The Celtics couldn't make a shot in this game. The defense was pretty rough, relatively speaking, at the start of the game, but they locked in on that end. But the shot making really just never panned out. Jayson Tatum and Derek White combined to shoot 2 of 18 from 3 in this game, and Tatum was 0 of 10 by himself. Even Jaylen was 3 of 13 from 3. The Celtics finished 11 of 46 from deep. Really, only Drew Holiday and Sam Hauser were the only 2 guys who shot a respectable percentage. Holiday was 2 of 5. Hauser was 3 of 5. I thought the offensive process, for the most part, especially in the second half, was pretty good. They just couldn't make the shots. So that was tough. But Jaylen, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, probably the best player in this game, really. Was not efficient, 11 of 27, 3 of 13, but he picked his spots well. He got inside a decent amount, and if you take out the threes, he was 8 of 14. So a pretty overall solid game for JB.
Yeah, I'm happy with what we saw from JB. He was taking initiative. He was really forcing the issue when the Celtics didn't have anything going. And you don't always see him succeed in that kind of situation. Usually he struggles. But for him to go out there and be the leader tonight, and not to mention like play really well down the stretch, make an insane shot. The fall away with the hand in his face that was like a rainbow moon shot was like fall out of your chair type highlight material. Also did a great job on the glass. Yeah, Jaylen was the guy tonight. They needed literally anybody to show up, and he did do that. So shout out to Jaylen.
Yeah, and Tatum could not hit a 3. I thought some of the ones he took at the start of the game were rough, but after he got through that initial like, what are you doing? He took some like ones that were pretty within the flow of the offense, and they still weren't falling.
Right.
And so I credit him for not taking too many shots. I mean, he took 19, but I feel like as the game went on, you could tell that he was actively trying to take different shots, which is a good thing. Like you mentioned, the heroics at the end. Jaylen had that big shot, but Tatum had a pair of nice little middies too that he hit. Tatum also did a good job playmaking. He had 8 assists in this game, sort of similar to how Jaylen struggled against the Cavs, but was a playmaker. That's what Tatum did tonight. So the worst shooting performance of the season for Tatum. I mean, he had like 2 air balls in this game. Nothing was close, but
a lot of air balls in this game from everybody.
I know. Though. I don't know. I don't really know what that was, but for maybe
seriously,
for an awful Tatum shooting night, I thought he still found a way to like be not horrendous.
Agree. I think there was a lot of hustle from Tatum in this game. We saw him get on the offensive glass, well, the one time, but it felt like he was all over the place. He had a couple of steals. He still set his teammates up well. He used the attention he gets from the defense for that, which is important. He was playing defense. I don't even remember like thinking to myself that he was taking bad threes, so that's like another bonus in all of this. What are you going to do? Like, to be honest with you, like the Wizards are the maybe only team in the NBA they could have played like this and won by double digits, even though it was a
Yeah.
fake double digits. But like, with all that being said, like he still stepped up down the stretch too. He made some tough shots. They needed some fadeaways from Tatum. They needed buckets. It was a 4-point game for most of the fourth quarter, and it was him and Jaylen going back and forth, just kind of taking turns cooking the Wizards. So it's good that the confidence did not fall off despite the struggles early because it was brutal to watch. You're right.
Yeah, just not a good shooting night for Tatum. Like I said, probably the worst shooting night we've seen him have. I did see some people on Twitter talk about like maybe the court is the reason for the bad shooting. Maybe that's why the Wizards are so bad this year. Maybe
I'm not even
they
like
just
trolling.
I know,
It's
I
just
know,
so
I know, I
off
know.
putting.
The red court is very ugly. Like unironically, just super, super, super ugly. But anyways, who else? Let's see. Drew Holiday actually thought a pretty good game. Derek White was horrendous until the fourth quarter. And then he made a couple shots. And when I say horrendous, I just mean couldn't shoot. He was still fine. He still playmaked well. He still had a block. But Drew Holiday I thought had a pretty impactful performance. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals. He played good defense, took the shots when they came to him. He played well. But the backcourt was fine. A good Drew Holiday, meh. Derek White game.
Yeah, Drew made some big shots in this one. You read it out, but 2 of 5 from 3. He made a couple from the corner. 16 points is always great from him. Anytime you get really more than like 10, it's like you have found money because they just don't ask him to do that. And the way the Celtics are set up, it's really designed for both of those guys to be able to kind of take turns having a strong scoring night, even though Derek White has clearly separated himself as the premier scorer between himself and Holiday. There are nights that it ends up like this. 4 steals. What a night from Drew. They needed the stops because they weren't scoring. Like they needed those 4 turnovers he created. Not to mention he did help on the glass with the 5 rebounds, but you felt him more than 6 shots would make him usually feel felt in a game, if that makes sense.
Yes, I think that's a good way of putting it.
And just because I didn't really mention Derek, this dude shows up in the fourth quarter no matter what. Like Kylian Mbappe, Derek White, fourth quarter, he'll be there no matter what. He made 2 massive threes. The only threes he made tonight were in the fourth when they needed those baskets. Like this is a double-digit win, but it was fake because the free throws at the end. This was a back and forth game that it really felt like the Celtics might lose, and it was going to be a big letdown one.
Yeah, Derek White was 0 of 6 from 3 in the first 3 quarters, and then 2 of 2 from 3 in the fourth quarter, which is pretty good. Pretty good for Mr. White. Relatively non-impactful Pritchard game. Didn't really do much. He was 3 of 6. He did a decent job of getting inside and getting a couple buckets when the Celtics offense looked bad. Had 4 assists as well, especially. But yeah, they took the 3 away from him, it felt like. So he didn't do much. Meanwhile, though, his bench brother, Sam Hauser, very good game. Very, very, very big Hauser game. 3 of 5 from 3 was huge. 3 steals as well. He's playing great defense out there. Even had a couple nice looks inside, cut to the rim for one, had a nice little drive, self-creation midi. This was a much needed Hauser game at a big spot because the Celtics offense looked terrible.
Dude loves playing at Capital One Arena. Just loves it. Last time he was there, 10 threes. Tonight made 3 of 5, but he looked far more confident than he looked in the recent weeks. I mean, since he's come back from this back injury, he hasn't looked like himself. I'm sorry, I'm looking off screen. I have my stats over here today. But the fact that he this season is showing more of a willingness to create off the dribble is something I think we should all be excited about because we saw Grant Williams trying to do that when he was at the end of his time with the Celtics. And it didn't go well, but there's a reason that they were asking him to do that. I'm sorry, I have the Bulls game on this TV. That's why you're seeing the crazy colors. I look like I'm in the club. I'm not, even though I should be because the Bulls are up a lot and I should be celebrating because the cup. But Hauser putting it on the floor, being able to drive past guys, aggressively closing out on him. He had one at the end of a shot clock today. That was a crazy floater off 1 foot going to his left. Like he looks really good and diverse as an offensive player, and I don't really think we expected all of that from him. Nothing much. Oh no, 3 steals for him too. What a defensive turnover machine Sam Hauser was.
Played great defense. He's playing
Yeah.
really good defense in the game. Shuffle his feet. Maybe one of the most impactful players without the stats, Luke Kornet, really changed this game. Nemish Keita, who we can talk about as well after Luke, had another pretty rough night, especially defensively. Wasn't really sticking with the Wizards as well as you would hope. And Luke Kornet came in, gave the Celtics some great energy. That lineup, and you can see in the plus minus, the Tatum, Hauser, Kornet lineup with whoever else they threw out with those guys looked awesome all night. He had 3 offensive rebounds, which was huge for the Celtics. Had a block, had a steal. He was getting in the passing lanes a little bit. He really just changed the energy of this game, it felt like, because Nimi was struggling. And, Luke came in, gave them what they needed, was solid, and helped sort of steady the ship a little bit, even though obviously he's not going to be a big scorer.
But they needed that. Like, they needed that stability from him. They really missed the vanilla ice cream part of Luke Kornet in the game against the Cavs. Like, the reason why there were major lapses is because they couldn't really rely on Nimi, who was okay today. He was fine. He missed a couple and one opportunities. He missed a dunk.
He was.
I guess he was a -10 in the game they won by 12.
He was very bad on defense.
I didn't think he was noticeably
good.
atrocious like the other day, but he certainly just is not as reliable as Kornet. I think we know that now. I think we've had plenty of evidence of that now. And I was fine with what Kornet was doing. I did think he was getting pushed around a little bit by Valanciunas, but that's kind of what Valanciunas does, is push people around. So can't fault him too much. And the fact that you kind of always know what you're going to get from him is something that should give him a leg up once everybody's healthy to get those extra minutes off the bench.
Mm-hmm. I think plus minus should always be taken with a grain of salt, but he was literally the only player on the team with the plus minus that was negative, and he was a -10. So I feel like that's somewhat indicative. The biggest thing for me was, one, he was getting turned around. He can't guard the perimeter still. He gets blown by too easily. It puts the Celtics in a bad position. His footwork needs work. The other thing is, he is not good at timing or deciding when to play help defense, because there'll be sometimes when he plays help defense and it opens up a passing lane because he's there too long and can't get back, or there too early and isn't in the right spot, and they have the open pass. And then there's other times where he is in between Valanciunas and the guy who's going to get an open layup, and he just stays on Valanciunas and gives up the open layup. Like, it's just he is not good at timing / deciding when to play help. So it is what it is. He's still young. You could still see the flashes of impact he makes. Again, it's not saying he's a bad player. He's established that he's not. He just really needs to work on the defense, because it is just shaky. It is very shaky. And the 4 fouls tonight were also not ideal.
I mean, that's what we said coming into the year. It has a lot to do with discipline. It has a lot to do with positioning, and we felt that he was lacking there. And we've kind of seen that through the first X amount of games. What is it now? What are they? 16 games into the season. We've seen that. Like, it's not like Nimi hasn't gotten an opportunity. I don't think he has like a dead career path with this team either. I think they still believe in him. I think there's a reason why he started in this game and Luke Kornet didn't start in this game. But there's still work to be done. There's still room to improve, and that's a good thing. I think, Nimi fans should be excited that he's getting the opportunity. I don't know if he can go back to Maine this year. He probably can't, but
anybody can be in Maine.
I guess it's just not like a two-way.
KP technically got assigned to Maine.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe they send him down to Maine every once in a while to get some reps in. I don't know. But he doesn't – I don't want him playing major minutes in a big game.
Of course, yeah. It is what it is. He'll be fine. It was just – the defense just needs some work. Jordan Walsh played about 5 minutes. He was whatever. And then Xavier Tillman played his first, real minutes since – the first 4 games of the season. He still didn't crack 10 minutes. He hasn't played 10 minutes in a game since those first 4 games, but played 837. Had 2 blocks, had some nice plays on the defensive side of the ball, a couple big rebounds, missed the 3 he took, had another one where he tried to drive again instead of staying at 3-point line, which I didn't love. But he got in, played some actual minutes at the end of the game as well, closed out in a spot where I think they were trying to get away from Nimi because he wasn't great, and Al Horford was obviously not available for this game because he was sick with a non-COVID illness. But Tillman looked all right, played solid defense. Ironic that the day I finally decided to just say, screw it, I'll drop the feature story, they decide to play him now. Like, all right, cool.
Did the PR team put in a hit for Jack?
Who
They
knows,
tapped
man?
Joe on the shoulder and said, "You have to put him in today."
He looked all right.
Pretty
Though.
decent. I thought
looked
he
all
was
right,
actually
yeah.
good. He played good
Yeah.
defense. Like, I think earlier in the season when he was getting his early minutes in those first four games, like you mentioned, like he was not bringing it there. There was some speculation that part of the reason he played with Porzingis in the main run was that he kind of was trying to work himself back into shape. I don't know if I believe that or not, but it was tossed around as a theory. And he certainly looked more agile today. He was in really good position to get stops, especially like they had him out there in the fourth quarter. He was getting guys. He had a possession where Jordan Poole was trying to ISO him, and Jordan Poole's like a wild card. Don't get me wrong. Like he's going to be like, watch this, and maybe it hits the rim, maybe it doesn't. But a guy that's quick like that, having a big switched onto him, that's like when sharks smell blood. Like they want to try and create a highlight, blow past them, make them be on skates. And Tillman did a really good job and forced a miss that didn't even hit the rim. Good job by Tillman.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get more minutes going forward. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a little bit of him sprinkled in games over the next week or so. I think it makes sense.
I hope so. I certainly would like
with
it.
Sunday, Monday back to back. Horford won't play.
Yeah.
He probably won't play Sunday. If I had to guess, just because they rested him today, probably give him another day.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Do we miss anything else? I'm trying to
Walsh
think.
Played a little bit. 0-1 from
Walsh is
3.
fine. He's all right.
Joe Mazzulla almost got ejected from this game.
I didn't even see what happened. What
no,
was
he was right. So Jaylen got a guy in the air underneath the basket and got hit. I think it was even in the restricted area. He like pump faked, guy jumped. Jaylen went up for a layup, gets hit, misses the layup. No call. Then Joe Mazzulla was red hot. Like he gets a tech right away. I actually thought he was about to get tossed. I was like, oh my God, we might see the first ever Joe ejection.
He's gotten ejected before.
Oh, fuck. I tweeted that.
Remember the picture when Damon Stoudemire was in the picture trying to hold him back? I forget what it was, but I know now I'm gonna have to find it. But I know
I've made a great
Mazzulla
mistake.
Ejected because I think Damon Stoudemire took over.
Yeah, I think
let me
so.
see.
I think you might be right. There's a chance that it was Ime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got ejected. Here, I have the clip. It was against the Bulls. And it was over a Jaylen foul. Ironically enough, I think he just gets really mad when Jaylen doesn't get the calls. So it was this play. I'm gonna mute it. Gets just walloped inside by.
Can't believe we don't get to Mazzulla flipping out.
Well, they call it. Well, they called the foul, so I don't know why he's mad.
Honorable jersey matchup in this, by the way. Unlike today.
I don't know why Joe is mad.
Pissed off.
Did they overturn it? Oh, just not.
All right, so I can unfold what just happened here. Go
you
back
know the volume's
to the
on.
play.
Yeah. I didn't know what was happening.
Tatum goes over to the ref and says, I showed a motion, I got a T. Vucevic does, and you guys don't do anything. Joe Mazzulla backs his guy, Tatum.
I see. Was this a preseason game, though? Because, no, October 24th. That's probably regular season. Anyways, he has been ejected. He was not happy about it. But he did almost get ejected in this one as well. Also, before we go, it's still in the process of uploading, but I did actually make the HBTC store. So it's ready. It was very quick. So if you look here, it's like I said, these aren't the real prices because it's still like basically copying the information over from the app I use to YouTube. So like, don't take this for face value because it's still like processing and changing everything. However, if you go to how about them Celtics? I don't know what the actual URL is. I'll link the actual URL in the description, but we do have actual merch for people to buy.
Rat list. The rat list design, by the way, is one of my favorites.
Yes. Yes,
well,
the rat list design.
Those hats.
Yeah, the hats look pretty good. You can get them in white or black. I did this in like pink, light blue, and white, just because the black looks pretty good on that, and it's like threaded too. It's not printed on. That's like threaded. How about them C's, I believe. You got these, which is like it says "How about them C's" on the front here, and then the rat list just on the back of the sweatshirt. You got normal ones, normal hoodies that just say "How about them C's" on the front, nothing on the back. Very open to designs. You got stickers here. You got mugs if you want it. crew necks, all the stuff.
Christmas is coming up.
Christmas is coming
Get
up.
people free ads for us. Yeah.
If you would like some How About Them Celtics merch, or you have an idea, if you're like, RJ, Phillip, Joey, Spatulas, Eli, Timo, anybody, if you want to like comment down below, if you're one of our regular listeners, and say, oh, I think this would be a cool idea for a t-shirt. I think this would be a cool idea if you would sell it. Just comment. Just comment down below. Happy to work on some other designs. These are just the most basic things we could think of just to get it up, to get it kickstarted.
If you are,
and I think they look pretty good.
Go ahead.
I think they look pretty all right.
With an R.
Yeah. And even if you're like, even if you don't want to design it yourself, you're just like, oh, I think it would be cool if you guys had a shirt that said this. Just let me know. I'll work
because I
something
made the
out.
rat. So
yeah. So we do have
don't worry about it.
a store if you'd like to buy merch. The prices are like
this is the official store.
Yes.
Those are the real prices.
I tried to make the prices low enough where we're not losing money, but not gouge your eyes out. Like what I'm saying? Like I think
reasonably,
37 for a sweatshirt's
yes.
not bad. I think 35 for this sweatshirt. Some of them are more expensive because they have stuff on the front and back, or for whatever reason. I think 21 for a t-shirt's not terrible. The hats are not bad either. 25 for a hat I feel like is pretty standard. But yeah, if you'd like it, it's here. I'll link this in the description if you want to buy here. It's going to take a little bit to officially like load everything over, but like you can see here, it says 52 for a hoodie. Clearly that's not the price. But yeah, if you'd like something, that's there. We'll promo it at the start of the next full length pod, just to get it out to everybody. But I thought I'd throw it in here if you're a regular listener. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of the cup. If you guys do want to buy stuff, go ahead. Don't feel pressure, but I hope it looks cool. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. All of our pods and game recaps are up there for you. So if you want to just get all that stuff, go ahead, follow. They'll go right to your feed. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. We read your emails in every single pod, and we will be recording tomorrow or today as you're hearing this. So get them in. The cup. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.